Hi, my name is Harrison Denning from Arbor View High School. Support for today's varsity quiz is provided by Silver State Schools Credit Union.
Coming up next on Varsity Quiz, it's Arbor View and Clark. This is Varsity Quiz. Hello, welcome to the 49th season of Varsity Quiz. Tonight, the road to the Silver League Championship continues with the last of our semifinal matches. It's Arbor View and defending champion Clark facing off for the chance to move on to that final match. Let's meet our players. Starting for Clark, there's Shreya. Hi, Shreya. And Alex.
Hi, Nate.
Hi, Alex. And Noah.
Hey, Nate.
And Ishan.
Hello.
Also playing for Clark, it's Brennan. There's Shadman. And don't forget Jacob. Howdy, Jacob. There's also Evan. Hi, Evan. And Brock. And Dexter. The coach for Clark, Chuck Bean. Hi, Coach. The players for Clark High School. And starting for Arbor View, there's Harrison. Hi, Harrison.
Hello.
And Kevin. Hi, Kevin.
Hi.
Zachary.
Hello.
Howdy. And Kennedy. Also playing for Arbor View, say hello to Sydney. There's Danielle. And Jazel. There's also Bo. Hi, Bo. That's what I'm talking about. And Joey. And Catherine. And the coach for Arbor View, say hello to Julie Meservey. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Arbor View. So there are 25 questions in this first round, each correct answer worth 5 points. Are you guys ready? Let's play Varsity Quiz. Which word of Turkish origin, beginning with the letter H, designates any nomadic tribe or group, especially a tribe of Mongols or any large moving, and that'll be Arbor View. Kevin?
Horde?
Yes. The unilateral act by a nation's government to formally acknowledge the existence of another state as having a separate and independent government is called by what term? Clark, Noah?
Sovereignty.
Incorrect. Arbor View, Kevin?
Recognition?
I think we needed more. We were looking for diplomatic recognition. So we move on to the next question. It is a calculation question. Evaluate the log base 2 of 8 divided by the log base 8 of 2. Repeating, evaluate. Clark, Alex?
9.
Correct. Next question. What fallacy is illustrated by the following statement? Paranormal activity is real because I've experienced what can only be described as paranormal activity. Arbor View, Kevin?
Anecdotal?
Incorrect. Clark, Shreya?
Circular?
Judge, can we accept that? Yes. In 2017, the Bank of England unveiled a new 10-pound note featuring what British novelist who wrote Emma, Sense and Sensibility? Clark, Shreya?
Jane Austen?
Correct. Next question. Which former Alabama governor who made a stand in the schoolhouse door? Clark, Ishan?
Wallace?
Yes. The traditional Chinese calendar is based on 12 lunar months, 12 animals, and 5 elements. It completes a full cycle every how many years? Clark, Noah?
12 years.
Incorrect. Arbor View, Harrison?
13.
No, we were looking for 60. Next question. What kind of device can be made by suspending a relatively massive rotor inside 3 rings called gimbals or gimbals? Arbor View, Harrison?
Gyroscope?
Yes. Next question. The following lines come from what short story by an American author? The world is made up of 2 classes, the hunters and the huntees, and sometimes I think evil is a tangible thing with wavelengths, just as sound and light have. We were looking for the most dangerous game. Name the 25th U.S. president known as the Napoleon... Clark, Ishan?
McKinley?
Yes. What term that refers to a greenish fluid secreted by the liver also... Clark, Shreya?
Bile?
No. Also indicates either a skin sore caused by friction or a tumor-like growth on a plant that was induced by an insect. Arbor View, Kevin?
Blister?
No, we were looking for a gall. Next question. When archaeologists discovered the ancient library in the ruins of Nineveh, it contained histories, texts, documents, and stories on 22,000 clay tablets written. Clark, Ishan.
Cuneiform?
Yes. With its culture based on Tibetan Buddhism, name the small kingdom in the Himalayas that's been an independent country since. Arbor View, Harrison?
Bhutan.
Yes. What is the general name for the application of sciences such as DNA analysis, odontology, and bloodstain? Arbor View, Zachary?
Forensic science?
Yes. What first name was shared by America's first published poet, the second and fourth wives of Henry VIII, a diarist? Clark, Ishan.
Anne?
Yes. Next question. In formulating his 3 laws of planetary motion, Clark, Noah?
Kepler.
Incorrect. German astronomer Johannes Kepler used data collected by which Danish astronomer? Arbor View, Kennedy?
Copernicus?
No, we're looking for Tycho Brahe. Next question. Which Confederate guerrilla leader who raided border states during the U.S. Civil War is called, quote, the bloodiest man in American history? Arbor View, Kevin?
Jesse James.
No? Time, we're looking for William Quantrill. Next question. Which 12-letter word beginning with the letter P as in Paul is derived from the Latin words for before and after and designates something absurd or ridiculous? Clark, Ishan.
Preposterous?
Yes. In integral calculus, what name is given to the rule that describes a process for approximating definite integrals by substituting arcs of parabolas for short arcs of a curve? Clark, Alex?
Euler's method.
No? Time, we were looking for Simpson's rule. Next question. What literary technique is used in the following lines spoken by Yoda in Star Wars? Agree with you, the council does. And patience you must have. Time, we're looking for inversion or inverted order. Next question. Over the years, what oxidation process changed the original copper-colored Statue of Liberty to its current greenish hue? Clark, Noah?
Rust.
Incorrect. Arbor View, Harrison?
Tarnish.
No, we were looking for patination. Next question is a calculation question. With 10 digits and no repetitions allowed, how many combinations of 4 digits can be made? Repeating, with 10 digits and no repetitions allowed, how many combinations of 4 digits can be made? Clark, Alex?
5040.
Incorrect. Arbor View, Zachary?
10,000?
No, we have 210. So, identify the term for the science of the study of man, especially the customs. Clark, Ishan?
Anthropology?
Yes. Identify Ireland's famous nickname derived from its many rolling green hills. Arbor View, Kevin?
The Emerald Isle.
Yes. Next question. Which town in Virginia shares its name with James Madison's estate and a New England capital? Arbor View, Harrison?
Montpelier.
Yes. For each player, go ahead and give them a round of applause. Absolutely. Every player here on Varsity Quiz fills out a little information card from the Varsity Quiz staff at the CCSD. Some revealing, sometimes humorous information. We'd like to take a moment to get to know our players. We start with 11th grader from Clark, Shreya. Hi, Shreya.
Hi.
Are you having fun so far?
Yep.
It says you were born on a particular special day.
Yeah, I was born on Halloween and also on a blue moon day.
Wow. And also, you've added one other detail that may not have anything to do with that. It has to do with your hair.
Yeah, I've never cut my hair before.
Ever.
Yeah, no.
Wow. Okay, well, good luck with your hair, and good luck with
Thank
being
you.
born on Halloween on a blue moon, Shreya, and good luck on Varsity Quiz.
Thank you.
Thank you. Here's 10th grader Alex. Alex, welcome back.
Hi, Nate.
It says here you like to play board games.
I do.
Is there anyone in particular?
Oh, I like a lot of board games. I like Sushi Go. It's not strictly a board game. It's with cards, but it's more in the board game family.
Okay.
It's about getting the most tasty possible sushi meal.
Very good. Well, good luck with that, and good luck with Varsity Quiz.
Thank you.
Here's 12th grader Noah. Hi, Noah.
Hey, Nate.
What is the Physics Olympiad?
Our school sponsors the Physics Olympiad. It's held every year in the middle of January. It's just a fun test you can take, and if you do well enough, you can go on to the next level. So,
Have you guys already done that?
yes, we have, just waiting the results.
Oh, okay. Well, good
Yeah.
luck with that, and
Thank
good luck
you.
with Varsity Quiz. Thank you, Noah.
Thank you.
Here's 10th grader Ishan. Hi, Ishan.
Hi, Nate.
Let's see. Video games you like to play?
Yeah, I love to play video games in some of my spare time.
Any particular one?
Yeah, I like to play a strategy game based off of history called Europa Universalis.
Wow. Well, good luck with that.
Thank you.
And good luck with Varsity Quiz. That's the team from Clark High School. Now we meet our players from Arbor View. We start with 12th grader Harrison. Hi, Harrison.
Hello.
Glad to have you here. It says here you run a little business where you create something and try to have people buy it.
Well, I really enjoy the chemical process of soponification, which is the technical term for soap making.
So you
I
make
just-
soap.
Yeah.
Do people buy your soap?
Mostly friends and family, just
Okay.
to cover the cost of making more soap.
Okay. Well, good luck with that, and good luck with Varsity Quiz. Thanks,
Thank you.
Harrison. Here's 12th grader Kevin. Howdy, Kevin.
How you doing?
I'm still mostly sunny. Let's see. This says here that you are going to beat some famous person to a planet, even though he's sending a rocket ship there.
Yeah, I'm gonna walk to Mars before Elon Musk gets there.
Well, good luck with that, Kevin. That's awesome. That's a wonderful goal. And good luck with Varsity Quiz. Thank you, sir. Here's 10th grader Zachary. Hi, Zachary.
Hello.
Nice to have you here. What is airsoft?
It's where you have rifles with BBs and you shoot them at friends.
Oh my goodness, I hope no one gets hurt.
You wear protection to protect
Okay,
yourself.
so you're having fun with that?
Yeah.
Awesome, well good luck, and good luck on Varsity Quiz. Thank you, Zach.
Thank you.
Here is 10th grader Kennedy. Hi, Kennedy. Nice to have you here. It says you also play video games. Do you have a favorite?
Injustice 2.
Injustice 2. I have no idea what that is, but good luck with that, and good luck with Varsity Quiz. Thank you, Kennedy. And that's the team from Arbor View. Our bonus round is next. The score as we go into round 2, Clark has 45 points to Arbor View's 30. Before we begin our next round, we want to introduce some new players. On Clark, let's say hello to Brennan. Hi, Brennan.
Hello, Nate.
Good luck. And Arbor View has 2 new players. We say hello to Joseph. Hi, Joseph.
Hello.
And Danielle. Good luck to you guys. In this bonus round, each of 10 possible questions is worth 5 points. The team with the correct answer will get 2 bonus questions, each worth 5 points. Now, team conferring will be allowed in these bonus questions. 10 seconds will be allowed before the team captain's response. Now, this round is timed at 6 minutes, which starts when I begin this question. Which character in Shakespeare's Julius Caesar says, Romans, countrymen, and lovers? Clark, Ishan.
Mark Antony.
Incorrect. Hear me for my cause, and be silent that you may hear. Arbor View, Danielle?
Julius Caesar.
No, we're looking for Brutus. Next question for both teams. Which U.S. president-to-be organized a relief program that fed Clark? Noah?
Hoover.
Yes. Bonus questions now for Clark only. Identify each of the following concerning programs. First, name the program designed to help Germany pay its World War I reparations, named after a banker who served as Calvin Coolidge's vice president. Second, give the single letter name of the programming language that was developed in 1972 by Dennis Ritchie and Brian Kernighan at the AT&T Corporation for programming computer operating systems.
Yeah, second one C.
C, yeah.
C, and first one, I think it's like Stimson plan.
Yes, that Stimson sounds familiar. For the first, Stimson. For the second, C.
C is correct. The first one was the Dawes plan. So you have some bonus points. And now this question for both teams. It is a calculation question. If the quantity x minus b divides the quantity x to the 8th power minus c, then c equals b raised to what power? Repeating. Arbor View, Joseph.
The 8th power?
Yes. Bonus questions now for Arbor View only. Answer each of these following calculation questions. First, what is the geometric mean of 3 and 12? Second, what's the total surface area of a cylinder with radius 5 and height 5? Repeating, what's the geometric mean of 3 and 12? Second, what's the total surface area of a cylinder with radius 5, height 5?
Who's working the first one?
Captain.
Do you want to do?
If you don't answer,
For
we...
the second, 15/2
For the first
units.
one, say 4.
And for the first 4,
Both are incorrect. We're looking for 6 and 100 pi. So no bonus points in this question for both teams. The 4 deadliest flood events in history occurred along what Chinese river? Clark, Noah.
Yellow.
Yes, bonus questions for Clark only. What color is in the name of... Oh, give an answer that includes color. First, what color is in the name of low-mass, heavenly objects that are larger than typical planets but lack sufficient mass to begin fusion at their cores? Second, give the term for laws designed to restrict or ban some or all Sunday activities for religious reasons.
And I
First
think
one's
first
brown
one's-
dwarfs.
Yeah, and then second one, I don't know, like white laws, I guess.
White laws. For the first, brown laws. For the second, white laws.
Can-
Brown dwarfs.
So we have to count that as incorrect. The second one is correct. Blue laws and brown dwarfs. So you do get some bonus points. This question now for both teams. The Song of Roland, Paradise Lost, and the Iliad are examples of what kind of extended... Clark, Ishan.
Epic poems.
Repeat your answer, please.
Epic poems.
Yes, that is correct. Bonus questions now for Clark only. And speak up, please, players. Please speak up. Bonus questions for Clark only. Answer the following associated with epics. First, name the Indian epic poem that is identified as the longest known and has been described as the longest poem ever written. Second, name the epic poem from ancient Mesopotamia that's often regarded as the earliest surviving great work of literature.
First one, I think it might be the Mahabharata, but I'm not sure.
Yes. For this first, Mahabharata, and for the second, the Epic of Gilgamesh.
And both are correct. You've got bonus points. Next question for both teams. Name any of the 3 largest Canadian islands. Clark, Ishan.
Baffin Island.
Yes, also Victoria and Ellesmere. Bonus questions for Clark only. Answer the following associated with islands. First, what South Atlantic islands claimed for Britain by John Davis in 1592 were briefly occupied by Argentine forces in 1982? Second, name the largest island arc in the United States.
The Outer Banks, I think.
Hawaii?
No, it might be Aleutians. I think
It's Aleutians. For the first, Falkland Islands. For the second, Aleutians.
Both are correct. You've got bonus points. And now this question for both teams. Give either the Latin name of the constellation whose English name is table or mountain, or the name of an organization for people with IQs in the top... Clark, Ishan.
Mensa.
Yes. Bonus questions for Clark only. Answer the following associated with Mensa. First, Mensa member Marcus Alexis Persson sold this first-person sandbox video game to Microsoft for $2.5 billion. Second, name the American military general and Mensa member who led all coalition forces in the Gulf War, was nicknamed Stormin' Norman.
Yeah, for first Minecraft.
Yeah, I think so.
For the first Minecraft. For a second, Schwarzkopf.
Both are correct. You got bonus points. This question for both teams. Who was U.S. president when the Cherokee Indians were forced to travel west? Arbor View, Harrison.
Jackson?
Incorrect. After being forcibly removed from their ancient homelands in the South during the winter of 1838-39. Clark, Ishan.
Martin Van Buren.
Yes. Bonus questions for Clark only. Identify each of the following concerning U.S. history. First, name given to the influential U.S. religious revival of the 1820s and 1830s. Second, name the 1854 purchase that gave the U.S. an additional 29,640 square miles of Mexican territory.
They might want Gadsden, I think.
Gadsden, yes, it would be the Gadsden. For the first, Great Awakening. For the second, Gadsden Purchase.
Both are correct. You got bonus points. This question we do not have time for. Now, that is the end of the bonus round, but before we move on, we want to take a moment to thank the Kiwanis Club of Las Vegas. They provide judges and timekeepers at each and every match of our season that begins so much earlier in the school year. There are dozens of matches in classrooms all around Clark County. We appreciate the Kiwanis Club of Las Vegas, their dedication to Varsity Quiz, and we salute all of their fine work in the community. We also want to give a shout out to the staff and the leadership of the Clark County School District's Student Activities Department. They coordinate every step of this program from early in the school year all the way to the championships. Our speed round is next. We're heading into round 3 and the score. Clark has 120 points to Arbor View's 35. It may sound cliche, but it is true that anything can happen. Before we get going, we want to introduce some new players. Clark has 3 new players. We say hello to Evan. Hi, Evan. Hello. There's Jacob. Howdy,
Hi,
Jacob. and Shadman. Hi, Shadman. Good luck to you guys. 2 new players for Arbor View. We say hello to Jazel. Hi, Jazel. And there's Sydney. Good luck to you guys. Now, in this speed round, there are 30 questions, correct answers worth 5 points. Also, a timed round at 6 minutes. So we're going to get to as many as we can. If we read all 30 before the 6 minutes is up, obviously the match would be over after the response to that 30th question. Here we go. Which endocrine gland in the neck produces a hormone that helps control, and that'll be Clark. Evan?
Thyroid.
Yes. Calculation question, not repeated in this round. What is the measure of the central angle of a regular dodecagon? And that is Clark. Noah?
30 degrees.
Yes. The Scandinavian mountain chain separates Sweden from what other Scandinavian country? And that's Arbor View. Kevin?
Norway?
Yes. What kind of physical features are Procelarum and Imbrium on the Moon, Utopia and Hellas on Mars, Caloris and that is Clark. Evan?
Volcanoes.
No. And Sudbury Basin and Chicxulub on Earth. Arbor View. Kevin?
Craters?
Yes, they're craters. Next question. De jure segregation would be racial separation enforced by law. What kind of segregation occurs? And that is Clark. Shadman?
De facto?
Yes. What principality is described as a sovereign, landlocked microstate in southwestern Europe in the Eastern Pyrenees? Clark. Shadman?
Andorra?
Yes. In 1994, Philadelphia used fireworks, tours, and exhibits to mark the 350th birthday of its founder. Clark. Shadman?
William Penn?
Yes. Da Vinci's The Last Supper shows the apostles sitting at a long table. However, scholars say this kind of table was unknown at the time depicted in the painting. What's the term for this kind of chronological? Arbor View. Harrison?
Anachronism.
Yes. In 1956, nearly 100% of Egyptian voters elected whom as the first president? And that'll be Clark. Shadman?
Jamar Abdel Nasser?
Yes. What name is given to the 7 brightest stars in Ursa Major collectively? Clark. Evan?
Little Dipper.
Incorrect. Did he get in time? I believe he did. Arbor View. Harrison?
The Big Dipper.
Yes. From which city's jail did Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. write in a 1963 Clark? Noah?
Birmingham.
Yes. Name the American artist whose paintings are marked by southwestern U.S. motifs, as in her work, Summer Days. Time, we're looking for Georgia O'Keeffe. Which artery starts in the pelvis and extends 2/3 the way down the thigh? Arbor View. Kevin?
The femoral?
Yes. What brutal communist political faction emerged victorious in the Cambodian Civil War? Clark. Noah?
Khmer.
Can we take that? Yes. A solution of which element is used as the chemical test for starch in the laboratory? Clark. Noah?
Iodine.
Yes. What country on the Arabian Peninsula is closest to the Horn of Africa? Clark. Shadman?
Yemen?
Yes. Culp's Hill, Cemetery Hill, Cemetery Ridge. Clark. Noah? May we take that? Yes. A geologic period is longer than an epoch, but shorter than what other unit of geologic time? Clark. Shadman?
Era?
Yes. What family ruled Florence from 1434 to 17? Clark. Noah?
Medici.
Yes. What is the Buddhist concept that all actions have consequences in? Clark. Noah?
Karma.
Yes. What class of sedimentary rock contains at least 80% calcium or magnesium carbonates? Clark. Evan?
Limestone.
Yes. When a military coup in 1969 overthrew King Idris I, what revolutionary became the Libyan dictator till he was deposed in Arbor View? Kevin?
Muammar Gaddafi.
Yes. In what quadrant is the cotangent function negative and the secant function positive? Arbor View. Harrison?
Second.
Incorrect. Clark. Shadman?
Fourth?
Yes. Name the literary device used in debate and argumentative writing where a point made by one's opponent is acknowledged. Clark. Noah?
Rebuttal.
Incorrect. We're looking for concession. Next question. The Ardennes Massif is part of France, Belgium, and what other landlocked country? Clark. Shadman?
Liechtenstein?
Incorrect. Arbor View. Harrison?
Luxembourg.
Yes. Dinosaurs classified in the group Ornithischia have hips resembling those of what class of vertebrates? Clark, Evan.
Birds.
Yes. The One China policy primarily concerns what major? Arbor View, Kevin.
Taiwan.
Yes. The reign of terror ended shortly after what man known as the Arbor View, Kevin?
Robespierre.
Yes. Give the Scottish word for lake. Arbor View, Harrison?
Loch.
Yes. What kind of plate boundaries occur as a result of convection currents that stretch the oceanic lithosphere? Clark, Evan.
Divergent.
Judge, can we accept that? Yes, we can. So we're out of time. Well, we're out of questions. Maybe we're out of time. Let's find out who won. Final score, Clark 210 to Arbor View's 85. Congratulations to both teams. Really an excellent match. And certainly congratulations to Clark High School for the win. We invite you to join us next Monday. It will be the championship match of the Silver League. It'll feature Coronado taking on Clark. You won't want to miss it. Next Monday at 7:30. It'll be an exciting night of Varsity Quiz right here on Vegas PBS. Good night.